Welcome to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood, and it's going to get hot real quick. Actually, it is getting hot, and so we're in summertime here, and Cottonwood does warm up pretty good. So we're going to be talking about some fun things today, as well as some other preventative things that we need to probably discuss as well as it pertains to the summertime. But we're going to be going over July 4th pyrotechnics, fireworks, the 4th of July program and the show, and what goes on there, and who's kind of responsible for different things that takes place. We're going to be going over specifics as it pertains to pyrotechnics, and because we do hold one of the largest shows in northern Arizona, and I'll get in that as well. I'm really pleased as well as honored to have both Mike Kirkendall, who's our fire chief for the city of Cottonwood. So Chief, thank you for being here today. And also Hez Allen. Hez is our recreation services supervisor for the rec center and the Parks and Recreation under Community Services Department. So thanks, you guys. I appreciate you being here.
It's a pleasure. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, there's so many things going on in the summertime, and a lot of people always say, well, that we don't have anything to do, but there's just so much going on, and we're going to try to hit maybe just a portion of it as best we can here within the time allotted. And so I wanted to kind of let you know that get ready, because July 4th is actually 4 weeks away. So we're busting things on this end just to try to get things going, and we're going to go over now the kind of the day's events and the schedule here. But we started our fantastic Family 4th of July program clear back in 1998. So this is our 20th year of having that program, as well as this is our 20th year in our fireworks show and our shooting with a specific contractor here in Arizona. We'll talk about them here in a moment as well. And we have this program at the Cottonwood Kids Park, and this is again the Family 4th of July program is set around families gathering together, having a good time. I'll get you some times here in a minute once we start talking with Hez. This is a free program. There's no admission charges. We do have a parking fee, which is $1, which is very cheap, and you park right at the fairgrounds. The proceeds go to a local nonprofit youth program, as well as or an organization. And do you know who that will be this year, Hez?
Probably the Explorers.
Because that's who was doing it last year, was the police Explorers. Yep. And so it'll probably be that same group. What they do is they take the dollar as you enter into the parking lot there, and then they help you park. And they don't provide that where you get out of your vehicle and they drive up, but it's one of those where they tell you where you can park, where it's full, things of that nature. So it does get rapidly filled up by about 7 o'clock, because people want to be there for the military service patriotic salute, and we get that going as well at about 7 o'clock, 7:30, and so a lot of people will drive in then. The program actually starts at about 4 p.m. With pre-show and program opening. We have a lot of kids' bounce toys. We have rides and slides by, I think it's Arizona Family Events out of the Phoenix area. Kiwanis also begins serving hamburgers and hot dogs, and watermelon eating contests is around 4:15 to 4:30. We'll go through that again here in a little bit. We have our 7:30 patriotic salute to our veterans and our servicemen and women. The VFW Color Guard actually comes in from the local Burt Black VFW Post 7400, and they do a salute as well, and they honor the flag as well as honor the veterans that are there, and we actually we go through all of that, which is a really wonderful ceremony at that point. 8 p.m. normally we start off with patriotic music, and depending on weather conditions, and that's primary to the circumstances, because it seems as if every single year we usually get hit on about July 3rd or July 4th or July 5th. It just kind of never fails, and a lot of times it hits usually in the morning of July 4th, so it kind of wets things down, which is really nice. We're going to hope for that again this year, because it makes it for a much better shoot entirely, and especially with the fire department, so they don't have to be concerned about a lot of different things. So the fireworks are normally scheduled around 9 o'clock. Weather circumstances can sometimes dictate that we put that off for 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes or even more. But Heads, I know we're going to go through a lot of the thanks and appreciation, but our appreciation goes out to the City Council for funding the event once again, because it is a major funding event for the city. But it is for it's for a tremendous patriotic salute. It's a great time. We have the Cottonwood Fries Food and Drug. They do all the free hamburgers and hot dogs, buns, and the watermelon. The Knights of Columbus normally will actually cook the food on site, and they get out there with the barbecues, and it's about it can be 105 to 115 degrees, kind of depending on the day. The Kiwanis Club, then they actually serve the meals to the folks that are coming up and lining up, and we serve usually from right around 4:30 to about 5:30 or 5:45 until the food ends. And I know we normally get right around 1,000 hamburgers and hot dogs, and then we have all the condiments out there, and so people can do all of that. We like to always thank Minerals Research as well as the fair and the Fair Association, because we kind of shoot right on their property on the big slag pile next to the kids park, which is the fairgrounds area. So we'd like to thank the Fair Association, Minerals Research Incorporated, who actually are working over at the mining there of the slag pile. Also Cottonwood Public Works, Cottonwood Fire Department, Cottonwood Police Department, the Arizona Rangers, and then also the Cottonwood Parks and Recreation Department. So that's kind of the thank yous and the people who contribute to this program. And I just want to get a little background in history. I know that prior to 1998, the shoot was primarily, I think, from 87 to 97 at Peck's Lake. And I think the same company was doing a lot of the shoot there at that time period with the pyrotechnics at Peck's Lake. In 1998, the city actually took over the event at the fairgrounds and the fairgrounds field there at the kids park. And we actually had a very good shoot site location because of the radius, and the perimeter there offered some incredible opportunities for everybody throughout the entire area of Cottonwood to be able to see this. Chief, I wanted to go over some stuff, and tell me about working with this company, Fireworks Productions of Arizona, and what you as the fire chief are most concerned about, and possibly looking for in particular with the companies who deal with explosives, because there's a lot of stuff that they bring in by truck.
Absolutely. We've had a great working relationship with Fireworks Productions and with the local pyrotechnic here, Dave. I've known him for over 15 years, or even probably closer to the time that they actually started doing that. I've been working with him. This will be my sixth fireworks show as the chief, and we find that there aren't a lot of companies who do this. We're very fortunate that here in Arizona we have a company of the caliber of Fireworks Production. They have a great safety record. That makes it a lot easier for us when it comes time to do the contracts with them, when we look back at their history. And well, we'll get into that probably here in a more. I think you had another question or two on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, they really are. That's one of the things that really is impressive is their safety record, and they are very careful. The explosives that they have, again, are the charges that they actually place into these tubes. They're like cannons, and so it's really rather interesting. Now, I'm not the person that goes up there and looks at these. I've seen them from a distance, as well as they have taken me up early in the mornings. But it's amazing how the powder gets put down in there, and the shells that they put up in the air is just spectacular. Now, tell us a little bit about site preparations before the shoot. What do you guys do?
Well, one of the things that we do, it's almost a year-round. We watch the fairgrounds area and the peripheral area of the fairgrounds. So much of the fairgrounds people think of as the parking lots and the arena and the different things that happen there. But the fairgrounds actually own a fair amount of property, all the way up to residences on the east side and on the north side, up to Aspen Street to the VFW, and over to the west side to Minerals Research. And some of that, of course, is natural vegetation areas. So we watch, and even early in the season, right after the first year, we start watching and see what we have. This year, we had tremendous growth.
We did, the rains.
But fortunately, our relationship of the city with the Fair Association, with Colleen, in particular,
Yes.
Colleen Gilboy at the fairgrounds, she made sure that they've went in and cut down the weeds. And this year we really have the vegetation's been cut down. Normally we have to go in, most years we go in and burn out part of that before that. This year we aren't even going to have to do a burnout.
Oh, that's
They've
good.
cut the vegetation down enough, and even with all the growth that we've had, very safe location this year. So that's part of our preparation. And then also part of our preparation is starting meetings early in the year with Dave, with Dave Pollock, with Fireworks Production, and with you, and
right.
and start laying those things out. We also include Tom Herkett from Minerals Research. We get with Colleen, again, Gilboy,
right.
to discuss the site and work through all of the particulars, and then put out even a map of the area, and because there is a distance issue with the size of the shells that we fire, and we have to have a clear zone of 70 feet for every inch diameter shell.
Right.
And that's the radius, is 70 feet. We shoot 8-inch shells are the biggest ones we shoot, so we have to have 560 feet in all directions for normal hazards, and then if there's any special hazards, it has to be double that, fuel tanks or anything there. So just making sure that we don't have anything that is easily combustible in those areas, and then we also have to set up and arrange to have all the people there the night of the actual show, and that's where, for us, we get a lot of assistance from our neighboring fire departments and also from the U.S. Forest Service. There's
a lot of tankers there, as well as a lot of people.
We have tankers, we have brush trucks. The Forest Service comes out in just as many guys as they can get, depending on what else is going on in our area, plus the other local fire departments, Verde Valley Fire District and Jerome, and even we've had Camp Verde through the years, and Sedona. Just depends on who's available and who can send out units to help us.
I appreciate that, Mike. And we're going to take a short break here. And as we're talking about the teamwork behind the scenes, we'll get into a little bit more as it pertains to the pyrotechnics and some of the information there in our second segment. Richard Faust, your host. Come back here in just one moment as we take our break.
You're gonna take good care of him, right?
Oh, like he was my own dog. Trust me.
Oh.
That's good.
Not my baby!
Sorry.
You don't want your groomer distracted. No one wants you distracted behind the wheel. It only takes 1 second to change your life forever. Distracted driving involves anything that takes your focus off the road.
Stand with me. Be drug-free.
Stand with me. Be drug-free.
To make a difference, we must stand together.
Stand with me. Be drug-free. Supporting our families and listening to our teens.
Stand with me. Be drug-free.
Stand with me. Be drug-free.
We are all one. No one is immune.
Stand with me. Be drug-free.
Let's stand together for a healthier community.
Stand with me. Be drug-free.
Hello and welcome back to Inside Cottonwood for our second segment. I'm your host today, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager, and we're talking to Chief Kirkendall, as well as we'll be talking with Hez Allen here, pertaining to a little bit more on the day's events. But we're talking about pyrotechnics, fireworks, and some of the circumstances that we look out for. And mainly the safety of this company is just an incredible company to work with. You know, I know that when we talk about things, Chief, we look at, like you had indicated, the black slag pile. We have the number of feet for an 8-inch shell to go up. 8-inch shells are very expensive, so I think we have 8-inch shells that we shoot. One goes off at the beginning to catch everybody's attention, and then there's a couple of other things that transpire as well. What happens up there on that? They shoot an 8-inch, and then you guys look at the 8-inch shell and you watch the smoke drift as well, don't you?
Absolutely. Looking for wind direction and wind speed. Granted, it's hard for us to gauge, wind speed without equipment, but these days with the internet, we can get spot weather and find out what. But it's always down to that first shell that goes off, and gives us the final indication of where the drift is going to be. Whether you know it or not, the shells don't totally combust. The material that goes up in the air, there's a certain amount of that falls back to earth. And we have to make sure of knowing where that's going to fall.
That's right.
Because there's still sometimes a hot ember in there. So that's why we're so careful about that.
It is, and it's a very big concern of ours. So we want to make sure that we're safety-wise, we're risk-wise, we're looking at all of those issues and taking care of people around in that area. So, because we do have some drift at times. Everything seems to come out of the southeast to the north, or excuse me, the southwest to the northeast, and that's usually what we always see. And so that's what you guys are mainly looking at. Now, we talk about BATF. Why is there a license that has to be with Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms with this?
Well, that first thing is the official title is the U.S. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives.
Oh, and explosives, okay.
And that's why so often people say, why is the BATF? Well, it's that E part.
Got it.
Because when we talk about display fireworks and the amount of powder that's in them, that makes them legally an explosive, and that requires them to be licensed by the BATF-E, because they're no different in some ways than dynamite or other explosives. They require a license by the federal bureau there that to regulate those things, both to import them, to manufacture them, and to use them even. Because of the size of the powder charges in some of those.
Well, there's a big truckload, and you have to realize, we have a show that lasts 25 to 28 minutes, and you're heaving these things up in the air, and we have 120 to 130 basin shells that go off at the beginning. We have that 8-inch shell. We have the basin shells that then are going up, and then they do something in particular there with a 55-gallon barrel. What do they do with that?
Well, that's a well-kept secret, Richard. You know that.
They sit there and they go, oh my gosh, something just blew up, and it looks like half the mountain's gone.
That's a well-kept secret.
That's a kept secret, but yeah.
But really what that is the, depending on how many they'll run the barrel with a number of the fuses from previous shows and such that weren't used, and so they set them off in a barrel, usually on the top of the hill, and it looks quite spectacular.
It's pretty dramatic.
And people think that perhaps something has went wrong when really that's part of the
Yes, it's part of the show.
The show.
Yeah, well, I'm right down there in the crowd, and I just hear the, oh, whoa, whoa, and you can hear it all, and everybody's muffling, and they're like, oh my goodness sakes, but no one is hurt, and that was just something that they do for effect.
It's very safe.
It is.
And it's a way actually of them to dispose of all the extra fuses and the things that the flammable materials that aren't explosives.
Right.
And so, but it makes quite a spectacular blaze for a short time.
Well, and then during this 25 to 28 minutes, we also have about 892 aerial displays. So there's artillery going up in the air, and so those aerial displays, and then there's 148 shells that go up in the grand finale in the last 2 to 3 minutes of the program. So that's a lot that's being heaved up in the air, and so the grand total of about 1,270 shells, and it is one of the largest shows in the northern Arizona area. We have a lot of people that actually watch from surrounding areas, so from their homes as well as from different locations throughout Cottonwood. So when we, what normally happens, I guess, is the pyrotechnicians, Dave Pollock and his crews, what is their responsibility as they shoot these? I mean, is there specific policies that they have to, look at?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, one of the things is the shells have to be kept in a closed container, as you can well imagine. They have to reload. There's some of the shells that are the grand finale and certain things are preloaded, but most of these, they call them mortars, and that's exactly what they are. If you think of the military, it's a tube, and they'll fire them, and then they have to load another shell in. So during that time, of course, they have to keep the unfired shells, the new ones, in cans and keep them where the spark can't get to them. So there's very strict rules as to who can fire them too, and they require the training to be a pyrotechnic. Not anybody can just come down and fire these. So they follow a set number of guidelines that Dave, being the senior pyrotechnic over the show, ensures that everything is being done according to the rules, not just the federal laws, but also the rules that are in place, both from the fire codes and and from their own company has standards.
They have huge standards to address. Now, tell us about. I guess it's. We want to make sure that people enjoy the show, and we also are very concerned about local population as it pertains to fireworks and personal fireworks. Tell us about that.
Well, again, this is a display firework, and these people are licensed. Now, within the state of Arizona, the laws have changed here in the last few years to allow what they call safe and sane fireworks, but within the city of Cottonwood, those are prohibited. There is no legal fireworks to be used within the city of Cottonwood by ordinance there. We have a zero tolerance policy on that. Even though you may see them in the stores because the state law requires that a municipality can't regulate the sale of them, but we can regulate the use of them. So with that, there are no legal fireworks to be fired in Cottonwood, including sparklers and all those things. One of the problems we have every year is people shooting off their own fireworks. This show, we make sure that every safety precaution that can be taken is taken. But especially this year, with all of the vegetation that we've seen, the growth because of the rains, we're really worried this year of people using their own fireworks, because whether people realize it or not, there is inherently a danger with fireworks. They do not fully consume. It's inevitable that some of the products that are produced, the products of combustion, we call them, the items that were on fire that make the colors when the fireworks go off, will come back to the earth.
That's right.
And so we have a zero tolerance policy. The police will be out in force, going through the neighborhoods, and we'll be enforcing this, and they will be subject to criminal prosecution for using fireworks.
Well, and that's the thing is all you got to do is walk outside your home, look at your neighbor's property, look at behind your house. There's weeds everywhere. If that ever sparked and got going, we could lose some homes.
Absolutely.
So that's the biggest problem we've got with local fireworks and personal use. So it's banned. So understand that. And as we're going to take another break here, we'll be back with both of these gentlemen again, and we'll enter into our segment 3 as we talk about what's going to happen for the day of the 4th of July at the Kids Park. So thank you for joining us. Come back here in just a moment.
You're going to take good care of him, right?
Oh, like he was my own dog. Trust me.
That's good.
Not my baby!
Sorry.
You don't want your groomer distracted. No one wants you distracted behind the wheel. It only takes 1 second to change your life forever. Distracted driving involves anything that takes your focus off the road.
Stand with me. Be drug-free.
Stand with me. Be drug-free.
To make a difference, we must stand together.
Stand with me. Be drug-free. Supporting our families and listening to our teens.
Stand with me, be drug-free.
Stand with me, be drug-free.
We are all one. No one is immune.
Stand with me, be drug-free.
Let's stand together for a healthier community.
Stand with me, be drug-free.
Welcome back to Inside Cottonwood, to our third and final segment here of the day, and I'm Richard Faust, your host. I'm glad you're joining us today, and I look forward to seeing a lot of people out at July 4th. Come join us when you get that opportunity throughout the day, especially later on in the day. You can barbecue in the afternoon and then come out to the 4th of July and enjoy food as well as sit back and relax. I just want to thank Hez Allen as well as Chief Kirkendall for being here today. Hez, I wanted to ask you some information here. So the program first started in 1998 with us, and what we did at Parks and Recreation is we've kind of built on the program. So just tell us who our great sponsors are for this year once again.
Well, again, we've got the Cottonwood Chamber of Commerce, Taylor Waste, Reynolds Research, Jen Griffin State Farm, Verde Valley Fair Association, and Fry's Food and Drug. What's nice about these sponsors, they pretty much come back every year. So if you're out and about in the community, stop by and say thank you.
Yeah, definitely so, because they're fantastic. They continue to provide for us year after year, like you said, and most of it's been for the last 5 to 10 years with most of these people, and some of goes back almost 20 years. So
exactly.
We deeply appreciate that. So what time is the free food served?
You know, 3:30, 4 o'clock is when the event kind of kicks off, and Knights of Columbus and Kiwanis are always great about having right on that mark food ready to go.
They are.
So.
Yeah, and Fry's provides the food, so they provide all the foods. That's 1,000 burgers, 1,000 hot dogs, and all of the buns, and a lot of the relish, and the watermelons, and things of that nature.
Everything.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff. And now you talked. Okay, so the Knights of Columbus, they actually are cookers, and they're cooking the food, and then the Kiwanians are they're serving the free
They're the deliverers.
Food. They're the deliverers. Okay.
Yep.
And so, how do you sign up for the watermelon eating contest?
Just show up.
Okay.
With an empty stomach.
An empty stomach.
Yes.
Yes.
And it gets crazy over there. So it's always exciting because family comes over and everybody watches and pictures are taken. It's that quintessential backyard Independence Day celebration.
It is.
Yeah.
It's one of the ones that I can remember growing up in the Midwest. It's very similar, and so it's a lot of fun for family. Now, is there alcohol allowed on the property?
No.
Okay.
No alcohol allowed on the property. This is a family event. It's historically been a family event. It's something for families to come together at a facility, know they're going to be safe, and enjoy a great fireworks show.
Right. So there's no drinking allowed on the property anyway, because we just don't allow that.
Exactly.
And so, so there is none. Now, who provides the historic military vehicles each year that we've seen for the last 3 years or so?
You know, there's a group that comes out of the Phoenix area, and we about 6 months out, we'll start contacting them, getting some interest going, and it's the Historic Vehicle Association down in the Phoenix metropolitan area. And those guys just have a passion for those old vehicles that they usually buy off Army surplus, get them together, and start showing them off. And it's so amazing to see the kids run around these vehicles and experience every little facet of them.
Yeah, it is great. And now, if you want to utilize or go into the inflatable areas as a kid, what do you need?
There's a small fee,
okay,
and then they'll get an all-day ride band, and then you're ready to go. Usually we'll have a good assortment of water rides as well, so make sure to bring your bathing suit,
right,
and a towel and all that kind of stuff.
And so who serves, who provides, there's glow sticks, I see those all the time. Who does all of that and sells Pepsi and...
So the Cottonwood Youth Advisory Commission does that, and they do that to support the organization and all of their philanthropy activities. The City of Cottonwood provides a small budget for them for their meetings and get-togethers, and to go to some conferences, and everything above that is money that they raise.
That's great, and so that's the thing. This is part of it. So when you buy Pepsi or you buy the glow sticks, remember that it's going directly to the Cottonwood Youth Advisory Committee.
Exactly.
And they do some great things within the community as well as serving other youth in the community, so it's really quite neat what they do. So am I allowed to show up and sell my own stuff?
No.
That's a good question, because we get it all the time.
Exactly.
And you're not allowed to. And so again, we don't allow anybody else on the property to sell. We basically we allow the free food and the serving of that food, and then we also have the Pepsi and the Youth Commission, and we try to give back to them and the youth of our community.
And there's some health regulations as well.
Oh, that's right.
That need to be adhered to. So going through the process, we encourage anybody who's interested in selling something at the event just to contact us in advance.
Okay. So I know that we constantly hear in Cottonwood there's nothing to do for my kids during the summertime, and we've got a massive amount of things going on. I mean, ASP, summer day camp. Why don't you go through some of that? Is what we've had. What we have.
And Chief, you guys have the.
They do.
We have a couple of things going on this summer that we've had for a number of years, and I'll announce them. We have our Vacation Fire School. This is for boys and girls from ages 9 to 12. That's going to be June 15th and 16th. And then we'll also be having our Safe Sitter program, which is a program for young adults, I'll call them, between the ages of 11 and I believe it's 11 and 13. Mm-hmm. And that's on June 22nd, 23rd, and this is a course for them to become competent, qualified babysitters. And so again, for both of these, contact the Cottonwood Fire Departments at 634-2741. for more information on those.
And usually you'll get hold of Cheryl Miskell.
And you get a hold of Cheryl.
Yeah, Cheryl will tell you all about it.
Cheryl's going to give you all the information and get you signed up for those.
Yeah, these are great programs. My kids have gone through these before when they were younger, and they learn so much. So it's really quite a deal. So you get really a big bang for your buck if this is what you want to do.
You really do, and they both programs, the Vacation Fire School, it's fun. They get to do a lot of things that see what we do as firefighters, and get to be at the fire station, and
that's fun.
And I think I even cook for them one of the days.
That's right. Wow. I might come over too.
So maybe you guys want to come over and have a hamburger.
I'm going to. So what's going on with summer youth camps and stuff, real quick?
You know, we've got the Youth Center Summer Day Camp program. It's going on right now. There's 4 sessions throughout the summer. We'll get 40 kids per session. So if you want to sign up for that, it books out quick. We have to cap it. So make sure to give the Youth Center or the Rec Center a call. We also have the Challenger Sports British Soccer Camp. That's Monday through Friday, July 24th through the 28th of July. Youth Volleyball Camp, Fun and Fundamentals Basketball Camp, which is June 19th through the 21st, 3rd. And then Missoula Children's Theater Program for Kids, which is June 12th through the 17th for grades 1st through 12th. Also, we've got, if you haven't heard, we've got Kenny Wayne Shepherd Band and Blue Oyster Cult booked for Thunder Valley Rally this year.
That's right.
So mark your calendar, September 15 and 16.
And we've got Dive-In Movies.
Dive-In movie this week, this Saturday.
Yeah.
Moana. Have you seen it?
Yes, I have. Moana's great.
Oh gosh,
so
great movie.
Kids love that, and so come out for that. So that's this Saturday.
Yeah.
And then you also have another one coming up as well.
Yes, we do.
And so I can't remember when that is.
Yeah, it's July 8th, and that's Sing. And then August 12th, we've got Finding Dory.
Okay. And you also have movies in the park.
We have movies in the park. June 24th is BFG, and July 22nd is Pete's Dragon. Yeah,
it's full. And when you look at all of our Learn to Swim program classes, there's 4 of those throughout the year that we have scheduled. So your kids, they can come on out, and they can go to the front desk of the Recreation Center. You can go on Facebook for Cottonwood Facebook site for the Recreation Center, as well as Parks and Recreation or the Fire Department. You can find all of this information out right there as to when we're talking about all these dates. You can't remember them all, so go on those sites and provide that information, or call Cheryl Miskell at the fire department. Ask her about those things as well.
She knows everything.
Yeah, she does. So I want to thank you for joining us, as well as I want to thank my guests here today. Chief Kirkendall, thank you for being here. Mike, Hez Allen, thank you for being here.
Yeah,
Thanks for answering all these questions. And again, enjoy your summer. Be safe, and don't shoot fireworks because they're not allowed, and you will get caught. And so you don't want to do that either. So come join us at the 4th of July and the Pyrotechnics event, and enjoy as a family. Sit back and relax and have a lot of fun. Thank you for joining us for Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood.